Hi, it's Elena here from Reclaim Your Body Guide, and I just wanted to do this quick video today to show you an exercise that can be helpful should you suffer from any kind of feet, knee, hip, or low back pain, or even should I say neck pain. And I just got this idea from a client that I saw yesterday who has been suffering with hip pain for a while before coming to see me. And we have been working with her going through alignment and assessment and corrective exercises and strengthening exercises and muscle testing. And she's been progressing great. But what really made, I suppose, the final positive step difference for her was an exercise that we did for the feet and for the big toe of the foot more specifically. So if you have been to a foot workshop with me or to a balance workshop with me, you know that we spend a lot of time to specifically retrain the muscles of the glutes and the hips to be able to carry the weight of our legs and generally of our body, because these are robust, big and strong muscles, or they should be at least. But the function of those muscles is really dependent on one, alignment, which is what your legs are doing under them, and two, the function of the feet. So your feet have a quarter of all the movable parts of your body. So a quarter of all your muscles, ligaments, joints, and bones belong to the foot. It's extremely sophisticated machinery that most of us do not use because A, shoes, B, we don't tend to walk a lot, and C, when we do tend to walk, we walk on flat and level surfaces, and this affects both the feet and the joint articulations in them, and also the ability of the hips to assist the feet and the body to clear the ground. And now I'm going to show you what I mean with that. So here is my half dome, and just a very quick alignment kind of guide. So in order for your glutes to fire, you need to have vertical hips, vertical legs. So your hips should be right above your heel. For most of us, this is not an easy thing to achieve because we tend to sit a lot, and when we sit a lot, our calves and hamstrings shorten, which basically makes, the elastic tissue here shorter, and our hips drive forward. So that's one reason why most people do not use their glute and hip muscles efficiently and effectively. Because in order for the hip and glute muscles to fire, you need to be able to do this. So there are different corrective exercises that help us to achieve that, and I'm not going to focus on them today, but I'm just going to quickly demonstrate one of my favorite and foundational for restorative exercise, which is the pelvic list, which is essentially standing with your vertical leg and pushing the heel. So I'm going to use this leg, which is my left. So I'm going to push my left heel onto the ground, and I'm going to try to bring the left hip lower than the right hip. And I'm going to kind of push, and trying to even take my right hip up. But here is the thing, the way I'm taking the right hip up is by shortening a muscle to the side of my other leg. So I am not using the muscles at the side of the waist or the muscles of the back, which also can shorten to bring this hip up. I'm actually activating my glutes and the side of the leg muscles, which are then carrying my other leg. So basically they clear it off the ground. And I cannot tell you how much of a difference this can make for you, especially if you tend to fall or trip over things. And the ability to be able to clear the ground with this leg and actually have this foot high enough in order to prevent potential tripping, you know, or even to be able to actually swing this leg without it touching the floor. For example, if you tend to drag your feet, if you can hear a dragging sound when you're walking, that's not good news for your hip muscles and not good news for your gait either. So this is the exercise, the hip list, the pelvic list, which I'm not really going to go into detail. You can, you know, we can add many things and many layers to this exercise. I'm just going to demonstrate it with the other leg. So I'm on my right leg, it's vertical. So my hips are directly over my heel and I'm pushing my heel onto the ground. And you can even kind of bend slightly from the right hip. And you're going to feel burn or action in the back of the legs, the glutes, and the side hip. So this is the exercise that helps you to walk better, that helps create space in the hip joint. And this is going to help you to have better balance and to be able to walk and to, you know, clear the ground without potential falls or trips. Also, when you lose balance, having those muscles strong and active is going to help you to find your balance again quicker. Something else that is very important, and this helps with, is if you have feet that are pronating, sort of, you know, going in. So this is the counteraction of that. So actually pronating feet, yes, you need to work on the foot itself, but having strong hips is super important too. Now, with this client that I just mentioned, she has been doing her exercises. She just still had some residual pain in the hip. And what we did is we actually trained her big toe to take action or to participate in this sequence as well. The big toe and generally all of the feet muscles are super important for the function of the hips as well as the other way around. So what we're going to do today with you is we are going to stand with feet parallel to each other, so facing forward, and we are going to, I'm not sure how well this is visible on the camera, you're going to lift the big toe, lift and lower. And when you do that, you're going to pay attention to, does it go straight up? Does it go to the side? Does one toe go somewhere and the other goes somewhere else? Are you able to lift them at all? Because sometimes you won't be able to. In which case you can help yourself with your fingers. So you're allowed to actually hold the other toes with your hand and lift one toe and kind of help with direction. And what you want to aim for ultimately is that this toe goes straight up. So not to one side or to the other side, but wants to go straight up. You also want to be able to spread your toes like this. So if anything, you want your toe to be able to kind of go away from the other toes. And something else that you can do in order to help yourself to do that is to actually have a half dome or just a roll towel and set your toe on the dome so that you kind of stretch it a little bit into extension. You train your big toe extension. The extension of the big toe is connected to your balance and it's also connected to the hip muscles. And what my client noticed was that if she hadn't done her foot and especially the big toe exercise, the pelvic list hurt when she did it on the side that was affected. But after she did the toe extension exercise and the calf stretch, it didn't. Which means essentially that The ability of your body to recruit the big muscles of the hip depends on the functions of the feet and more specifically of the big toe. So let me know, can you move your feet? Can you move your toes? Has it occurred to you if you have any kind of foot, knee, hip or back pain to work on your feet specifically? And can you try, if you have worked with me before and you are familiar with the pelvic list, do you notice a difference in your ability to pelvic list after a big toe extension and without the big toe extension? And if you have any other questions that are related to walking, feet, hips or low back, yeah, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.